Yeah. You know, you get a lot of love, I'm sure, back home, but you got some opposition here in the States from some other promoters at times, right?
Well, I prefer to call it fear.
Fear, okay,
You know what I mean?
okay.
Yeah.
Fear of what?
So, I mean, look,
Fear of being outgunned.
yeah, and you know, the Forbes article just came out, right? And some of the people that are your detractors, like Oscar or Leonard at times, you're not always his favorite. They don't always have the most favorable things to say about you, but you're ranked as the #1 boxing promoter. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, we're the only global promotional company in the business. So look, you can always debate who's the biggest in what market, right? But one thing you can never debate is who is the biggest globally, because we're the only global promotional company in the world. You know, we're doing 35 to 40 shows a year. We're in the UK, we're in America, we're in Mexico. You know, this weekend we have a show. We're in Australia, Italy, Spain, Saudi Arabia, Abu Dhabi, everywhere. So we're on another level to all of the promotional companies as a global business. But you've always got the debate of who is #1 in the US, who is #1 in the UK. So, you know, I think it's all good. You know, I mean, you have to understand, I've also got a job to do to raise my profile in America, to become, you know, a face of the business and a face of boxing, or a spokesman for boxing in here. And when you've got people like Oscar de la Hoya, who is a legend of the sport with a huge profile, saying my name all the time, or you've got Gervonta Davis, who is one of the faces of boxing, saying my name all the time, it's very good for me. So I like to just wind them up a little bit and keep them talking, you know?
What's the logical next step, Eddie?
Look, I mean, the logical next step is, for me, there's a lot of work to do still in America. Like, we've had tremendous success, obviously, with Canelo Alvarez, you know, with huge fights with him. And now, you know, you look at our schedule, obviously we're in Puerto Rico with Subriel Matias. You know, we've had a great run with Devin Haney in the past. You've got Jerome Boots Ennis now, which was a flagship signing for us. You've got Bam against Estrada, June 29. You know, we had Dimitri Bivol, who's got big fights coming. So we're in a great position. But now I think it's time to start signing these guys up. We've had probably 6 or 7 of the top 20 pound for pound fighters in the world come on to us in the last month wanting to sign with Matchroom. One of them was Jerome Ennis. But I think my worry is always that we can't deliver on our promises, and I would never sign a fighter if we can't deliver. And the worry is that you sign too many fighters and then they become inactive. We've seen it so many times, right? So I want to be really selective on who we sign, but I do think it's now time to gobble up 2 or 3 of these great talents and really give them the platform and the promotion that they deserve. I mean, it still baffles me. You've got a guy like Boots, who in my opinion may be in an argument for pound top 5 within 12 months, right?
#1.
And it's like, we went on sale yesterday. We had 4,500 tickets. That's all we had on the pre-sale. We sold them out instantly. How on earth has Boots Ennis not boxed or headlined in Philadelphia? It's absolutely crazy. I don't understand it. Is it laziness? Is it you want to keep him in a box? Like, you know, and if you look at what we did when we took Devin Haney to San Francisco, we sold 16,000 tickets at the Chase Center. Like, and you've got to sometimes roll the dice a little bit, but you're not really rolling the dice when you're headlining him in his own city where he's born and bred, in a sports city like Philadelphia as well, with a great venue like this. So we go on general sale today. I reckon at the end of today we'll be at, I don't know, 6, 7, 8,000. We've got 9 weeks to go to the event. You imagine you're Jerome Ennis, you walk in here today and you look around and you go, fuck me, I have arrived. My name is everywhere. I'm up on the Jumbotron. You guys are here. My press conference is in Philadelphia. We've sold out the lower bowl already nearly. Like, it's such a great feeling. And for a special fighter, that's where you're going to get the best out of them. When you make them feel like a star, you know. But the ones that perform under this kind of pressure in their home city, they're the real stars. And Jerome Ennis is a star. And I like this kid, Cody Crawley, by the way. You know, I've seen him up the rocky steps this morning. He's 22-0. I think he won't be good enough on the night, but he'll be bringing it. So let's see how Boots is. And anything less than an A-star performance from Boots is not good enough. Because we've got to win these titles at 147, and then he's got to go and fight Terence Crawford if Crawford can come through Madrimov. And every day that passes, I still think to myself, Matchroom is going to flatten Terence Crawford on August the 3rd in Los Angeles. As much as I love Terence Crawford.
Eddie, is it safe to say you have now 2 of the most young killers on your team? You got Sabril Matias and now signing Boots. With him having his first, like you said, it's a shocker to everyone why he hasn't ever headlined here in Philadelphia. With that being said, are you a secret mastermind genius for signing 2 of the young killers in all of boxing?
Do you know how long I've tried to sign Jaron Ennis? 5 years, right? I had my first meeting to sign Jaron Ennis on the Danny Jacobs Canelo Alvarez fight week at the MGM Park Hotel. I remember it, right? 5 years ago, everyone was talking about Jaron Ennis. This kid coming through, I'm telling you, this is the one, right? A year passed, we tried again, 3 years. But in the end, Sean Palmer and Kevin Rooney, shout out to those guys at Matchroom, they're going to me, we've had another meet, we think we can sign Boots. I'm like, guys, please don't waste my fucking time. You're like teasing me, you know? It's like every time you sort of give, no, and then you pull it away from me. And then, you know, once we knew that we could get it done, it was a massive signing for us because you look at that division as well, you know, the timing's so good. No one's going to want to fight Boots Ennis, but you've got people now who are champions at 47 that will look now at Boots as their payday, right? Barrios, Stanionis. What other fights are they going to be in? They need to be looking for the Boots fight, for me to pay up, or a site fee to pay up, or wherever to pay up to give them their payday. So I want him to see him beat Crowley, then I want to see him unify against Barrios or Stanionis or those kind of guys. And you know, His Excellency has already said he loves the Terence Crawford Boots Ennis fight. You know, I took him to see him, and he knows he's boxing, and he knows. But the thing is with Terence also knows, right? Terence thinks he can beat anyone, and he's a pound for pound great. I mean, he's a legend of the sport. But he also knows he's boxing, and he knows how good Boots Ennis is, and he'll fight him, but only for the big bag. You know. So we got to make the fight big enough for someone to pay the big bag.
Eddie, speaking of His Excellency, I mean, obviously what he's doing in the sport is sort of, you know, disruptive in a good way. You guys have obviously built a relationship globally, but now he's coming to do his first card here in America. Could you talk about just, I guess, his end goals and the conversations that you guys have in terms of what you're looking to build?
Yeah, I mean, for him, he has an unbelievable energy and love and passion for boxing. He feels, you know, I'm not putting words in his mouth, I think he said it in interviews, he feels that the sport is slightly fragmented and broken, and we've got to work together to deliver fans what they want. And no one can argue that so far, the fights that he's putting on are delivering for fight fans. I mean, August 3rd, especially if you talk about Wilder potentially against Jared Anderson, I mean, that's the greatest fight card I think the country's ever seen. So, obviously the vision is there, but honestly, this isn't a guy that's just coming in going, spend, and like, I don't really know what I'm doing. He has a very sharp mind, and he has a vision for the sport to take it forward. Now, whether that vision will work, if you've got the appetite and you've got the passion and if you've got the bankroll, I think it does work. But it's going to take everyone to stay together to keep making these fights. You know, when we was in New York recently, just before the press conference, you got everybody on the phone. You know, I'm there, Louis de Cubas is next to me, we're making fights. You know, Golden Boy are on the phone, Top Ranker on the phone, and it's like he's the one in the middle, because we all know that Oscar's not going to want to make fights with me, right? PBC aren't going to want to make fights with me. If he's in the middle brokering those fights, we're seeing them get done. So he's doing a tremendous job to do that. And, you know, I think August 3rd is going to be incredible.
Eddie, you mentioned the pre-sale, you mentioned